Hey, Steve, you're the only one here. So, uh, yeah, g'day anybody that's going to be coming in late. Oh, no, there's four. G'day everybody, Artie Farty here, or Artie Zug. Got kicked out of Innsbruck today. I'm in Munich. Going to be spending 3 nights here before I head off home. Been a bit of an adventure today. Well, the last 48 hours has been anyway. Yeah. Oh, good on you, half your luck. G'day, Eagle Creek. How are you, buddy? Welcome, bud. Hopefully you're doing all pretty well. Steve Peace-Tap, how you doing? And anybody else that's in the background. Well, it's my last live stream in Europe for this year. For now. G'day, Andy. How are you? Jean Ricard, how are you? Yeah, I'm still in here for another. When do I leave for home? Hang on, 20th, which is there we go, Wednesday. I've got to get my days right, because this little noggin here decided yesterday morning he's going to check out of the room and head down to Innsbruck Airport. Sitting and waiting for the counter to open and waiting. And I'm like, the flight's going to leave in an hour. The counters haven't opened up. And, yeah, I went up to one of the other counters and saying, are they working today or what's going on? And they said, no, tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, I'm a bit early. Yeah, I was about 26 hours or 24 hours early for my departure. So back to the hotel I went. At least I didn't miss my flight. It would have been quicker to come over by train. It normally takes 2 hours by train. And on the way over, because the flight goes through to Vienna and then to Munich, it's a 3 to 4 hour ordeal. The train that I did intend on taking, it got cancelled. So thank God I did take the flight instead of the train out of Innsbruck. And there was 5 train services cancelled today, and there was 9 cancelled yesterday. And there was one chap that was in front of me today checking in, and he's been having all sorts of ordeals just to get to Munich, and it's Munich from Innsbruck is basically just on the other side of the mountain. No, I have not booked a Fair Canada. I've heard about that, Steve. They're going on strike. Yes, I do know that. They're going on strike for 72 hours. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect me on... Oh, no, it shouldn't affect me because I'm going to Lufthansa. I'm flying home with Lufthansa, so that's not gonna affect me. I'm going the other way. Yeah, no, I don't fly Air Canada. Air Canada's too expensive. If I wanted to go, when I made inquiries about price to go to Toronto to visit Sparky and everybody else, it was something like $6,000. Okay, why the train's cancelling? That's a good question. Between Innsbruck and Salzburg, which is the quick line, they're doing track work. Now, the other line that goes up over the mountain, the shortcut to Munich, I was talking to a chap yesterday. When I arrived, before I arrived there, or as I arrived, there was a big landslide, a mudslide up on the other side in the valley. And the guy that's working on that job, he's staying at my hotel, said it won't be cleared until November this year. So that's going to take quite a while for it to clear up. But they're doing so much track work in the area all at once. To be honest, it's an overkill, and a lot of people are frustrated. The only train services that are running are local train services within, I would say, like a 50-mile radius. That's about it. The lines as they are now are overcrowded, and it's the line that they are using. The top speed on that's probably about 45 to 50 mile an hour. So you'd be better off just renting a car and yeah, it'd be better off if you can rent a car and drive around. You can get around a lot quicker than by the route that the railjet is taking at the moment just to get to Salzburg and Vienna. It's a nice train ride, don't get me wrong. They just want to keep me here. Do you think so? That was sort of like when I got back to the hotel yesterday and go, "What, you're back? We thought we got rid of you." So yeah, they didn't get rid of me that easy. But yeah, I did enjoy Innsbruck. Especially at the motel where I was staying at. I mean, in the mornings and even after I've gone out, venturing, and come back, sitting at the lounge bar like we have on the top floor, just taking in a view. I mean, just not doing nothing. I can see the trains coming in. I can see people coming down the terrace. I mean, the tourists coming down off the mountain. Seeing the sunrise and the sunset. It was just amazing view from there. And taking in, just checking out the old buildings in Innsbruck itself. Yes, there are some modern buildings there, but there are so many old ones. And when you're observing one, you end up finding something else. No, Jean, no. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I've got too many things at home, and no, I don't. It's not going to work. An Australian, you're saying I'm seeking asylum in Austria. It's not going to work. Definitely won't work. Insane asylum, Ricard. Yeah, that'd be a bit more like it. Steve, under those grounds, they probably will take me in. But no, it's going to be a good place to come in for a holiday. Again, I most probably will come again next year to have a look at the areas that I couldn't get to this year. There's just so much to see around that area, and just having Innsbruck as how would I say, like a town centre or like your home base, and just venture out from there. I mean, some of the train trips that I did take, they're just going through gullies and valleys, and when you see Innsbruck itself in the mountains, then you take a train ride. Like I took a train ride to Graz the other day. It was clear, and then you're going through valleys, and then you've seen all these other Alps or these other mountain tops too. It's like, it's going to take me at least 5 to 10 years just to go up to all of them, just in that small area. And you can go up them during the summertime. They do have chairlifts and whatnot. It takes you up the top, and some of them got really nice restaurants. It's worth going to have a look. It is worth going down and have a look. I mean, do I have a favourite spot? I have found a favourite spot there, I've got to admit, and that was one of the other points to the south of the city. It's not quite as high, but the view from there, you can see all the way down to Italy. You can see up the valley to the east, or to the west, should I say, towards Salzburg, west, northwest. And then you can see east towards Switzerland as well. So you get a good view from up there. The big high mountain, yeah, I did like going up there, but it's with the amount of tourists that are going up on those cable cars, it's just too packed out. There's just way too many people up there now. I really seek to go somewhere pretty quiet. So if you want to come back, I don't think so, Sean. I mean, I have not had any trouble with crossing into the borders in here in Europe. I just had they did stop me. G'day, Anthony. How are you, buddy? Just leaving the water park with the family. Okay, all right. Drive safely, buddy. I did go to Brenner the other 3 days ago. I went down to Brenner with hoping to get some railjet shots, and no, Steve, it's too far north. It's too cold up there. I'd rather be in the valley, and I got to know some locals and made some friends there. Yeah, it's wet, Andy. Yeah. Oh, you mean Anthony? Yes, he got wet too, hopefully. But when I got to Brenner and heading back, the border police, or the police actually stopped me there and just want to see my documents, which basically my passport. I don't speak Italian. I do understand a few of the words, but when he turned his documents, I'm like, okay, yeah, hang on. Start talking English, and I said I'm from Australia and just got an Australian passport. They just looked at the stamp. Yep, see ya, bye. But mind you, they Italian policemen, they're quite cute. They're short, and I tell you what, they might be short, but I think they might be. I think they'll pack a good punch. Put him up in a hammock. As long as there's no mosquitoes there, Steve. Dijon, as long as you don't have no mosquitoes. Because after being home in Novi Beche, Granddad's town, mosquitoes there were bad. And it's still hot over there too, apparently. Now, last night we had a pretty nice thunderstorm in Innsbruck itself. And going to this morning, with people mistaken for a gnome. Actually, no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't mistake me for a gnome. But I mean, Innsbruck itself as a city was actually quite nice. People are reasonably friendly. There isn't that much. You don't see much of it. You don't see too much poverty, or you don't see many people out living on the streets. The city is pretty clean to most places where I've been to so far in Europe. So yeah, I'd definitely go back there and use that as a home base. Only downside I have to say. Okay, Andy, hurry up. But the only downside is the hotel. I mean, the staff were fantastic. They made you feel at home. Even up at in the restaurant, the lounge area, the bar. They made you feel at home and comfortable and everything else. And even reception, they were always helpful. If you needed directions or whatnot, they were there. They were fantastic. I can't fault them. The only thing I would fault is the rooms. Yes, they were quiet and they were clean. But there's no fridge. There's no jug. There's nothing. All you got is a bed, a table, and a shower, basically. You get a caravan camper war. Yeah, that is good. That is a good point, Steve. I probably could do that somewhere down the line when I decide where I wanted to do some more rail trips. Hopefully, I can do a bit better planning for next year. See when they're not doing track work, and hopefully it doesn't rain. The line that I wanted to go on mainly this trip, that will be reopened. They're doing a lot of work to it. It's a huge mudslide. I even got some shots of one of the mudslides on the Brenner line that happened the first week I was in Innsbruck, and that was quite big. Mom, it nearly took out the the big motorway that they got going through the valley there, down to Brenner and down into Italy. It nearly took that out, and they're still cleaning it. The rail side is pretty secure. It's not going to go anywhere, but now they're doing some bit of underpinning and track work up there too. They're not even sending. The only freight train that's going up there at the moment is the truck, the train that carries the trucks across over into the Italian border, or just up the Brenner, and the local passengers. The rail jets are actually being diverted around the mountain. So there's very, very little traffic going up that way. But yeah, it is with Innsbruck. It's having a caravan, yeah, or camper van. It would be good, but most of these locations are within the hour or two from Innsbruck. I might end up getting another motel maybe, but in the hotel I stayed at, it was in a great location for the fact that it was right at the station. All I had to do was go downstairs. I got the buses wherever I wanted to go to. I got trains when they're running pretty much wherever you want to go. I mean, you got a train that will take all the way to Zurich, then you got another train in the morning that will take all the way to Berlin. So it was a good little spot. Food, well, I did end up finding some nice food places around, nice eateries. There's a really good Italian I ended up finding out on, what day is now? Yeah, on Thursday, which is on Innsbruck West, just below the railway line, where the railway line is on like a causeway, and under the causeway itself it's an elevated track. They got shops, and there's a nice little Italian there right across the main entertainment theatre there, where they do all the fake music festivals and that. I did manage to take some photos of that place so I can do a model somewhere down in the future. My favourite place out of everything that I went to, particularly for rail spotting, and that would have been Jagberg. Janba. That's where the rack steam engine is. And then you also got the Zillertal railway line there too, which is another narrow gauge. They're doing upgrades for the new train system that they got, the new train that they're getting. They're not widening the gauge. And I discovered on Wednesday, just also what's at Yangba is they're making the base for the concrete base for the tunnel, for a Brenner tunnel. Why not, Andy? What's wrong with that? He can go there if he wants. But that was a nice little location for train spotting, and the food was good there at that little not little cafe, the little restaurant there, but beside the railway line. Hang on, who's pinging me this time of the night? Let me have a look and see who this is. Probably Payback. I'm probably getting Payback. Oh, okay. But it was, that would have been, apart from Innsbruck Station, the nearest favourite station. G'day, Andy. How are you? That would have been one of my favourites on this trip. Just sitting there having a late lunch and having a few drinks, and you got the steam train that's coming down. There's a steam train that's coming down off one mountain. You got the narrow gauge coming down off from another valley, and then you got the high speed trains that are basically, or the non-stop trains, all coming through that station, except for the ones that don't really stop there, like the railjet that don't stop there. They actually go under. They're actually running under the train tracks itself. That I would say, as for railway side, that would have been my favourite. The Teddy Hawkers. All right. Okay. All right. The trip that I took when I was going towards Graz from, or even just to go to Sales, but the way that we've been diverted at the moment, potato harvester. Okay. That is quite scenic. When the clouds basically lifted. Actually, you probably, I don't know how much we can see of it. Let me see if I can get it up on the video here. Oh, you're English now, Andy. Oh, okay. I can't at the moment. I was trying to. Oh, that'd be interesting. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I heard about those polar bears up there. No. Oh. It'd be nice to take the trip on the Signal Cabin. G'day, buddy. Good evening. Welcome. It's the first time I've seen you in here. Let me see if I can find if the video's uploaded. Just me flying out of the town today. Actually, I might just share some photos because I did try to. I did try to get up by the where am I here? I did try to get up by. G'day, Randall. How are you? I got your text message, mate, but phone's got all stupid. Let me. Let me bring some photos up of this week. Now, I did end up going, as I said, I did end up going by the rain house this week, and I wanted to get a close-up shot of the yard and that, but I couldn't get to it, unfortunately. I only could get to part of it. Now, as you see here at the photo that I'm showing now, I am actually standing on the bridge that goes above, or pretty much above the roundhouse. The roundhouse is sitting right on the edge of that bridge there, that on the other side of the bridge. Now, there's no footpath on the other side, and the way they've been driving up through here, I wasn't going to go climb there to get photos. So that's the best I can do, but you can see that building there, the golden one or the brownie one. That's the one that I actually stayed in. Yeah, that's the view I was pretty much getting all the time. It's just spectacular. And there's the hotel there, and I was actually on the 11th floor. The top window, the big window is actually 13th, so I was pretty high up, and I got a good view of the yard. I could see the passenger trains coming in and out. I can see the freight yards, and actually I got a good view of the loco depot with the turntable. Now this is just past the turntable. You got the new oh Vectron. There you got one Vectron. You got an old one 1144 class. Actually, there's two of them here, and two diesels. Actually, one of them were actually running last week. Yeah, and yeah, they still run. Well, the one with the you see the cooling fan. This one here. This one was actually running on the tracks. Yeah, last week I got a video of. I got a lot of content. Depends on which side of the head you're standing on, Andy. G'day, Southern Cross. How are you, buddy? The white shed there, that's where they maintain all the EMUs when they do major work on them. Now, the line there is actually a dead end that goes up this way here. Now, the three lines to the right, let me just zoom in. These lines that you see, they're actually with the new ballast. These ones here, the two to the left, takes you, well, actually the whole three of them takes you up to the Brennan Tunnel. That will connect you up in the Brenner. The one to the very far right, that is actually takes you to Zurich, and down through that way. And also, Monsville, g'day, buddy, good morning. Sorry it's early, bud, but it'll be back to normal time next week. So, yeah, this is the part I cannot see from my hotel room because the bridge is actually blocking the view. There's actually a better shot from the bridge. As you can see, the engine track is a dead end. It did used to go around to the right. You can't see in this shot, but there is two lines that goes around to the right. These lines on the grade, they actually take you up in the Brenner, and there is a tunnel at the back there to the right underneath. I can't think of the name of that place. There is a historic that significance on that hill where you see these buildings here. That's where the battle in 1809, I think it was, basically is where Austria was fighting for its survival. You got the big ski jump there. Now, the red building, it's actually quite significance. I don't know if anybody has heard of the Austrian Red Coat Band, the musicians with the red coats. They're quite elite musicians from down here. Yes, that's right. That was used in the Olympic Southern Cross. Exactly right. You're correct. On top of that tower is actually a restaurant there now. Now, where you see the concrete bridge here, that actually links up to Brenner and the other expressways. If you I'll try to zoom in. I don't know how this would actually. I don't know how it will look, but you see that little square little, or that rectangular tunnel there. That's the actually access tunnel for the new Brenner, the Innsbruck side, access to the Brennan Tunnel and the freight bypass, or the Innsbruck bypass line that actually goes in underneath that mountain. So behind that hillside is where the Brenner Tunnel actually is. Yes, these two lines, the two of the lines that are going up and that on the left, left in that picture here, they are actually going to be. G'day, Valley. How are you? They are the ones that are actually going to be connected into the Brennan Tunnel. And the far right and the middle track is going to be going on the existing one. Now, that little track, single track that you see, that goes into the Rayco depot / freight yard. Innsbruck station is designed in such a way that it can get in and out of its engine facility, its freight yard, and passenger trains from pretty much every track, really. That's giving you a better view of the ski jump. Southern Cross, guys, that gives you a better view of the ski jump. You got the church and the I just can't think of the name of the thing. Basically, the school for music for the guys with the red coats. But that's actually looking south towards Italy. Now, there is, once you get on the other side of that hill, you've got in the gully that actually takes you all the way down into the Italy. It is a spectacular view from down there, either from the train, which sits down the bottom they go in the valley, or do what I did by accident and take the 560, the bus 560 from Innsbruck station. It actually takes you up over the pass on the back side, it will take you up on the left-hand side of the valley. Now, where the church is, you'll just see the church tower there. Below that church, there's actually a tramway museum of Innsbruck, and you can actually get a tram from there, which I did do. I don't know if I did share it or not, but I will share it again. I will make a video of the tram ride that I did, and it takes you onto the right-hand side of that gully, and you look down onto it, and you actually do see parts of the old railway line, which is actually a narrow gauge line, a zigzag. Zigzag's not the right word. Spiraled its way up the hill. Up to the right, you see the green patch of grass there in an old building, one of your castle-style buildings. There's actually a tram track that goes around there, up in the top right-hand corner. On the bottom right there, that you see those two main lines, that's the lines where most of the rail jets and actually. G'day, Brad. Willow Tree, how are you? That actually takes you to Zurich. It would actually take you to Munich, the shortcut to Munich from Innsbruck, but that line's closed. You can actually still get those Munich, but it's a long train trip. Apparently, it's like an extra. It's about 3.5, 4 hours. And yeah, I mean, that is a busy line. Even a lot of freight's going down there. They can also go use that line to get to Italy. I've got to say, the Austrian network is pretty well interlinked. It also takes you to the passenger car facility of Innsbruck, where the night jets that goes to Hamburg the night trains basically get staged and cleaned and serviced. There's a lot of rail jets that gets cleaned and serviced there. The local EMUs get serviced there as well. It is a spectacular city. Here's a better view of it. With one of the Tyrolean passenger trains. Now, these are sort of like your regional express trains, you can pretty much call them. These are the regional ones, and the other ones are more like your local trains, the ones that look like the TDK cassette players. We discovered there's a fairly few old buildings up behind that shrubbery there too. Let's see what else have I got here. That's looking on the big major facility. Again, looking down to the south. Now, this is coming out the freight yard. Okay, now this is coming out the freight yard. The left-hand track that you see there, I don't know if we in Australia we call them head shunts. I think in the UK you guys use them head shunts as well. It's basically where the freight train gets pulled up and they actually march them back down the track carries into each individual track or marching each individual track. The middle track takes you up into the Brenner line. The right-hand track takes you out to Zurich and up through the west, Zurich east. Innsbruck east. And then you see one of the electric switches, which is getting serviced. I did manage to purchase one then before I came out to Australia. So, yeah, guys may well be seeing that when I get home and start running my trains again. So that's the best shots I was able to get. It's a pretty cool engine. I have not seen them run around. There is a diesel version of it, which I did manage to get. I think it's probably the same length, maybe a little bit shorter, same style cab on it, but it hasn't got a pantograph, and it's a diesel. I did manage to get one of them. They do the repairs and servicing of the. It's basically a service depot, Innsbruck at the moment. What I have discovered, that's probably just a crew house or an old Weybridge style cabin. I've just taken some detail shots for the future layout, and look at the clouds. Talking about the favourite spot, that peak up towards the far left, that will be, I would say, my favourite spot of Innsbruck. Let me just zoom up. Just up on top of that peak up there. I would say that would have been my favourite spot. Not the rocky side, but up there. There weren't so many people, but as I said, the view from up there, which I will share when I get home, I'll have a bit more time to play around with it. I'll be able to share the scenery, and you can see one of the mountains in the background there, with the peaks, which is right at the border of Italy and Austria. And I don't know what I've got coming through now here. These is all unedited. I think I just waiting for a train to come through. I'm not sure. Sorry, I didn't have much time to prepare for tonight. Another dud one. There was something coming. I know there was something coming. It might be this one, actually. Because some goose that left his phone in a taxi when he got dropped off the motel. So he had to run around and find the taxi that he was riding in to get the phone back. Thankfully, the taxi driver did keep my phone, and yes, I got my phone back. Oh man, I tell you what, that was a adventure. So a lot of this is unedited. Yes, I have been on that. I do have that train as well, but the 3-car set, not the 4-car set. There wasn't that much traffic, and there's this one here that you see. They are common, and they generally do the local service. Now, there is one that runs around with a big 30 on it, and when you look at a distance, it looks like it's got triangles on it. I don't know if I can. I don't think I've got it amongst these photos, but with that train, when I had a closer look at it, and there's a rail maintenance train going in the background. When I had a closer look at that number 30 train with the 30th anniversary on it, it's actually pictures, photos of staff and people of Truro. Now, what they're celebrating is 30-year anniversary of Innsbruck's public rail service integrating with UB there, or OBB as we call it in English. But I was told I was saying it wrong. It's supposed to be UB there. Yeah, they're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of integrating the two together. So when you buy a ticket, like what I did with Truro Transit, I bought a monthly ticket. It covers you on every rail network within the Truro state. G'day, Todd. How are you, buddy? It covers you every bus in the Truro state. It covers you every tram in the Truro state of Austria. So all the train trips that I did to within Truro, Innsbruck is the capital, Truro. I didn't have to buy a separate ticket. My ticket included everything except for the scenic bus, of course. Now, these are the buildings that are sitting. I took these as shots for buildings in case I just. G'day, Tammy, how are you? Tammy and Ray. If I do decide to model Innsbruck or pass near the railway line, I've got some building shots here. And yeah, wherever you look, you're seeing a mountain range. And that's as close as I could get to the turntable. Now, there is, at the turntable there is, I think I counted 18 or 19 stores in that roundhouse. I cannot get to it. There's a garage in the way. There's a service station and there's a whole heap of buildings in the way. So this is the closest I could get, except for me being on the railway line. But I did get a shot of it on the railway line, but I was in the train. I wasn't walking the railway line, okay? I know that Craig said that, yeah, you can walk on property over there in Austria and you can't get done for trespassing, but I wasn't going to play that game. All you need to do is upset somebody and open a whole can of worms. So basically what you do see here is you've got the loco depot is in the middle. The lines that's closest to us goes to the station. The lines on the other side is the Innsbruck's freight yard. Now, there is a bigger marshalling yard, probably 4 miles up the line, 4 or 5 miles up the line, where there's a big marshalling yard for all the freight trains. They can also bypass Innsbruck. We don't see all the freight trains coming through there because there is, under that hill nearest to us, there is actually a bypass tunnel there. That's a better view of the turntable. And yes, it gets used quite often. Of course, that's looking down the main street in Innsbruck. Yes, there's a hotel I'm staying at. And of course, you've got to get the local brothel into it. Yeah, you know, every town's got to have a brothel, don't they? Who agrees with me on that one? Yeah, so that's how narrow the street is. You just get enough room for a bus and a car to get through, or 2 buses if they're not rushing. And there is an old building just down the bottom there. I'm lucky I got it in time. You see this old building here. She's gone to a use by date. She was actually starting to come down. I am behaving. I just said every town's got to have one. I didn't say everyone has to go to one. I said every town's got to have one. Okay, now I got to the old one. There is another one at the other side of the town, but that was, now it wasn't going there. Every town does, what's that? Does about 20,000, according to an ex of mine. She'll definitely have no. Oh, okay, right, okay. G'day, James. How are you, buddy? Just showing some last photos here of me being in Innsbruck, which I took a couple of days ago. But you're actually looking down the main street. There are photos at the station and around the city of what it used to look like. And there's the old building there. And I almost timed it right. I didn't realise it, but they were starting to tear it down. But I've got a bulk of the photos now. She's probably, apart from the pink building, but this one here is one of the last of the buildings I would say it's the second or third last building of that age on this side of town, along this road. Down the far end, still the original station, and some old buildings that still goes back to 1857 when the train line was actually opened. If anyone does, actually, before I forget, if anybody does have the opportunity to get to Innsbruck for the next few months by any chance, at the station they're actually celebrating at the moment the 20-year anniversary of the construction of not anymore, Todd. No, they've already got the beams out of them, buddy. If they didn't take the main supporting columns out, mate, I think that would have been a good fixer-upper. It would have made a good train club, don't you think? Or every floor would have it actually a train layout in it, something like Miniature Wonderland. But yeah, I think this building is probably the third or fourth last building of its kind. Now here is one of the rail jets I managed to get. Yeah, and interesting thing that I actually have noted about the rail jets. There is a sequence to them, and currently they are being zigzagged down this line from Salzburg. They are actually running the wrong way around. I have noticed them commonly they will be running locomotive first. Basically, what I found out, the locomotives will be always facing west of Vienna Station. Oh, they are nice, Eagle Creek. I just wished I could have get further down the line somewhere to get shots of it going at more of a decent speed. I did get a couple of shots of them. But yeah, I did. And here's some shots that I got from that old building. It's a shame. It would have been a good fixture up. Now this is now some of these photos are from one of the hobby shops that is in Innsbruck. It's a family-run business. I tell you what, they are fantastic there. They have a lot of things that most other shops don't have. Yes, they have a good range of. That's a Roco's 3-rows. They got Roco. They got Marklin. They have. Oh, it is amazing. Look, if Sydney would have got the trains like what they are running in Switzerland at the moment, it would have been up to standard. But there is something in the pipeline at the moment between Sydney and Brisbane. There's more Roco stuff there. They've also got G-Scale. I'm going to put a video together, and there's all the mutts. Not all of it. This is just some of the 3-rail stuff that they got. They got plenty of 3-rail stuff. Aren't we glad that Anthony's not here to see it? He's probably listening in the background in the car, and he go, "I want to see. I want to see." Yeah, this is the shop. They have got. I'm not sure if they got Z-Scale. It is a nice run, Todd. But the trains are not running through Kufstein at the moment. They are doing a big major, what do you call it? Track rebuild maintenance going through there. And in Kufstein, they've actually got some of the old Deutsche Bahn locos that actually got the zebra markings on it. And I couldn't get there. And even Craig said that would be a good train spotting area because you get a lot there, but there's nothing running into Kufstein at the moment. And that's only like 45 minutes up the line. Yes, it is, Todd. Yes, it would be, Andy. You're correct. Yes. It's all right. I did manage to get him something from this shop, which I'll get to it now. I am seriously considering after the last couple of weeks that we had down here in the last week and a half, actually, getting rid of my trains, and I'm going buses because there's only been rail bus services, bus replacement service. So I'm buying myself a whole fleet of buses and try to automate that. It's just gone crazy. There were. I didn't have the photo camera on me last night because the phone went flat, but I counted 49 buses waiting to transport passengers last night. Now that is a mixture. I can't remember the brand of these ones, but yeah, there's more in. There's a couple of ones here that's a pretty hard to get. But one thing I got really annoyed with is they got this Swiss set. Why am I annoyed with it? Well, that Swiss set, in conjunction with 3 OBB carriages, they actually run 2 services a day to Zurich, and from Vienna to Zurich, and from Zurich to Vienna through Innsbruck. But it also goes all the way down to the Gotthard. Yes, Southern Cross. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, and they are pretty hard. They're pretty hard to get a hold of too at the moment. There's not many retailers have got a hold of those anymore. Yes, it is a very nice set, but I've got no room. Now you got Jagenberger, you got Roco in there, you got Pico in there, you got everything, and right at the top you got Gauge 1. Yeah. And they also, and here's all your narrow gauge stuff, like the Zillitar line, the ZLMC narrow gauge with the matching carriages to go with it. They're Roco models too, by the way. Released a selection of local stuff. Now, one thing I take care, Joe. Hello, Joe. Goodbye, Joe. One thing I had noticed about this stop, Rhiners, it's called Rhiners. I will make a video of it. They do hold or stock a lot of OBB stuff, but local OBB stuff that are around Innsbruck and the Tyrol, the state of Tyrol, where the Tyrol is actually state of Austria. So they've got a good collection. They even got buses made up with the Innsbruck destinations and numbers, and it's pretty interesting shop, a hobby shop. This now, I think I'll be doing. I think I'll come up this where I got train photos. Now, last week I did mention that I think it was 2004, 2007 is when Innsbruck lost its original station. Was when they rebuilt the station. The only thing that resembles, that still remains of the original station from 1857 is this building. It is now the police station, and the little building beside it was, well, it was the old courthouse, apparently. But that's what's left of the original station. Now, just up in front of it is where actually the car park for the station is actually underground. I think there's a couple of shots of these. Just in case something was out of focus. Okay, yeah, here we go. We've got the fire engine again. And this was it last night, night before? That's logging down into the station itself. Now, the big black building is the Ibis Hotel. The buildings closest to us is a high-rise to a UBB and the Tyrol Transit Service. Excuse me. And down the far side, there's the pink building. Innsbruck railway station itself. And it's actually quite hollow on the inside. It's open plan. Look at this. I've got 2 cookies on the bed, one for me and my wife. If anybody knows me, I don't have a wife. And this is some sunset photos looking over the west of the gully. There'd be probably a few of them. And this is the view I was having at night. And this is at the back balcony. This is the back balcony. The balcony up the other side. Of course, I see the cliff face, but this is I'm looking at the sunset as I'm having a couple of non-alcoholic drinks. Okay, Todd, it is, mate. It was incredible. I mean, I actually sat up here for nearly 3 hours just watching the sunset going down, and g'day, Stormy, how are you? Just night come alive, you know. And the airport's just down there, down in the distance. But it's just a beautiful shot. And every night it's been different. I have some spectacular sunset photos from down here. And believe it or not, there was actually a storm just on the other side of that ridge. Now, this is one of the paintings from one of the artists. This is now inside Innsbruck station. There's two paintings, and I can't think of the artist. There is a name of the artist on it. There's one on the western side and one on the eastern side of the station building. Now, these are copies of replicas of one of the artists from 1957's painting done in 1957. Excuse me. And there is a staircase that goes down to your ticket office and your lounges and some eateries. And one thing I did notice in Austria with the trains, there's no pedestrian walk bridges. They're all underground at all the stations. Nearly all the stations I've been to so far, all the access to the platforms is underground. Just dawned to me the other day when I was looking at the Innsbruck station from another vantage point. There we go. Max Wheeler, 1955 was the one that done this. Now, this is looking into the foyer. Now, into the left there, you'll see 2007, 2009. Probably those people that actually got computer screens will actually see it. That is actually a display that's on at the moment for the 20th anniversary of the Brennan Tunnel. Now, the Brennan Tunnel isn't a new thing. They were actually thought of back when the line was officially opened. Now, you got to basically walk down these stairs. Ticket office is in the middle. You do have a supermarket at the far end, and you can access the platforms from that end. The side that I'm on, you've got lifts and only stairs. The other side, you've got elevators or escalators, should I say. And there is another painting on the other side. The car park is actually down in that level, but to the left. I did get a shot of the car park. 1847, there you go. And that's a little history on it. You probably will be able to find it online. If I do find a link to it, I am going to do a video on with a link on it when I get home. And it's amazing, like on the pathway, itself, it actually, we basically stuff on the other end, walk to this way. We're actually standing on the Italian side, but it actually shows you the access points and the towns that it's bypassing and where they are at this stage. They still got so much to do. There's at least 2 trainloads of freight trains coming in that are carrying concrete linings for the tunnel itself. They still got at least another 10 years of work in that tunnel. But it's amazing It's actually a fantastic display. If you actually look at the timeline and how it all has come of age. And there you go. That's a common display board that they got. That's at the UBB's ticket office. As you see, you got bus. This one wasn't too bad. Yes, you got the Railjet 2986, which is supposed to come up this way. It's been cancelled. There's probably a couple of others there. No, that's been cancelled. And that would have been, it's just been a mess. Now, this is the car park. This is coming in. This is looking towards my hotel. And where the ramp is, where you see the ramp in the distance, that's at the end of the Ibis Hotel, the big black building that we had in the middle. Yeah, it's the clear. The air was cleared. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's actually, this is all sitting underneath the tram tracks and the bus stops, and that's looking at the other end towards the police station end. There's the other painting. I couldn't get a good shot because the sun's in the bloody way. Same artist. I didn't look at what was said on the writing. That's looking the other way towards the hotel. You just see it in the background. And it's just an open plan. You got your tobacconist, you got the bookshops down there, you got UBB's lounge, you got a waiting room area there on the right. On the left, you got a couple of takeaways. At the far end, yes, you got a McDonald's there too. But this end of the escalators, you got some good delicatessens. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. I really appreciate it. I'll tell you what, I walked it a fair bit. I guess I lost a fair few kilos walking up and down now. This, I don't know what I've got here. Obviously, I've got a train, but what kind of train, I do not know. Must have been something good. I've got another Railjet. I think this one, that's right. This one actually had the Queen of Music's on. Now, one thing even Ivo didn't mention, what did it stop? Let me get it going again. Ivo did mention, and it's true, OBB likes to paint their stock engines and sometimes their rolling stock in some fancy color schemes, and this is one of them. And I've been seeing this engine every single day, and there's another one coming in, I believe, is it? No. Where am I at with these videos? And this was just looking at the street. That's right. We had another fire engines coming. This is at the front of the hotel. And just to upset the apple cart, they brought a CityJet tourist down, putting instead of old carriages. So now I've got to get one of them when I thought I had them all. That's basically looking down on the station from. They are stunning. They are they're beautiful to ride in, and the seats are. I've got to say, Southern Cross, when you sit in some of these seats, compared to the seats that's on the Sydney trains, I tell you what, they beat them hands down. They are so comfortable. They're that comfortable. I've actually fell asleep on them a couple of times. But thank God that the trains don't go to a big, faraway destination. They all somehow finish off here at the station at night at 11:30 at night. They all come back down to Innsbruck station to be stabled. But they are comfortable. Even in long distance trains that I travelled in when I was in the US for Amtrak, they're more comfortable than that. and that's saying a lot. They take pride in the passengers' comfort, and you can just get a glimpse of 3 buses in the background. That's where the bus services are. I think I might have the photos of it here somewhere. Oh, sorry. As I said, this is unedited. There's another sunset. And you see, again, a different sunset all on its own. Now, I've got this picture because the way the balconies on 3 floors are sticking out on that old building, that caught my eye. And I thought I'd just get a glimpse of that and just for something for maybe future modelling. But look at all the moss on top of the rooftops. For you to develop moss on top of on the layouts, we can keep it on there. But one thing that in Innsbruck, a lot of these areas of buildings actually got courtyards in them. And like you see here in this photo, there's actually a courtyard. And a lot of these residents actually grow their own produce in their courtyards. They don't have animals in there anymore, but they do have, like odd vegetables and whatnot. But now in the distance there is an arch, that was a royal arch, and look at that sunset. That's sunrise, actually. Sorry, that was sunrise. I believe I took that. Yeah, I took that this morning as I wake up. And look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 buses still remaining at the station. But there were a lot more of that. There is a train down there at the moment, which is the Groves one. I did take it. That's always got a different combination of cars on it. There you go. That's it there. With the blue Nightjet carriage on it. Now, that is a coachette. A lot of the coachettes have been, instead of retiring completely, they actually use them as seated passenger cars. Yes. I didn't get a shot of it because I was just about to leave at the door. And yes, it does get work. It gets used a fair bit. There's a train that runs from Innsbruck that runs all the way to Hamburg. And it will have anywhere between 3 to 8 car carriers behind the passenger train, where people actually load up their cars, they drive up and down, up on the train, and take a train trip down this neck of the woods. And when they finish the holiday, they'll put the car back on it and head back up to far north Germany. Did I grab any goodies? I grabbed some goodies. Don't worry, I got some goodies. You guys will see when I get home. Now, there is a set of passenger cars in the background there. They would normally be running. They will not be stable there during the day. They usually, and there's the Munich, the daily Innsbruck to Munich ICU train, getting ready for departure. It was pretty wet today, so I didn't really wander off too much. And this is down at the airport with EasyJet. Let me go up. This is the mountain range down by the airport. The only way you got access to these ranges if you go hiking. And that is actually shown along where you see that white mark. That's the line where I want to go up on. And of course, they haven't been able to because it's closed, as the line is actually, some of the line is non-existent at the moment on the other side of that ridge. There's one departing. Yes, they do have domestic flights within EU and Innsbruck to Vienna. But I like, this is the one thing I like. They actually got some way to protect the water flowing down the mountain when the snow melts. Yes, they'd run the ICE, they run the railjet. There is actually one which is not running at the moment because it goes through Salzburg. I've actually discovered it actually runs from Zurich. It starts from Zurich, Innsbruck, Munich, and actually runs to Berlin. But it's not running at the moment. Okay, take care, James. All right, buddy. You take care of yourself. We'll talk to you soon. You just look after yourself, bud. But you see these little scatter around the place where they control the water flow coming down the mountain. There's the Italian's new airline coming in. I can't remember what time it left, and it would have left after me. It's just waiting for me to board. Hang on. What's going on here? Oh, it was fun. There you go. That's what this now. This is the best shot ever. More. This shows you what's it like being in my pocket. You're very black. Oh, I'm a sick person. Okay, here we are. Oh, I'm going to call. I will do this the last one. Now, this is me. This is us taking off out of Innsbruck. Mind the shaky cam because, yeah, I can try the bumps, but this will give you a bit of an aerial view of what Innsbruck's like in the various valleys. But after this is finished, I'll have to call it a night because I am getting a little bit heavy-eyed. Oh man, yeah. I wished I could make it too, Todd. But yeah, I've got to get back home to Sydney. Now I am actually sitting on the left-hand side, so for now we're actually looking on to the south side of Innsbruck and down towards Italy until we start turning back. There is gullies around the place. I'm going to definitely have to get myself off the cigarettes and start getting myself fit so I can actually ride the push bike. Around the place, she's over his side. But I mean, look at it. It's just valleys after valleys after valleys. Innsbruck is the biggest open space, you can say, between the valleys. Like Salzburg will be up to the north, but you see, like you look in here, we're just passing over a bit of a gully there now, and there's actually some houses in that gully. But it was a spectacular flight coming out. I mean, okay, I was taking a video. We'll get a better look at it when I get it up. But it's going to be memory if I don't make it back. And now he's starting to turn back left, and we be going back over Innsbruck and doing a flyby. Oh, it is, Stormy. It is. The scenery is great, and if you look at the grass, there's so many different colours, and they're actually working farm paddocks. Oh, shit. Oh, it is Eagle Creek. Yeah, it is stunning country. I mean, now that's looking back into the valley, into Innsbruck from the plane. Um, and they've used the space very well, too. You see a little bit of the rail line that I wanted to go onto, but we don't see the slide. We do see one of them, but they cleaned it up. But the big one is going to take up to about, the guy said to me last night, it's going to take up to November to clear and had the trains reinstated. So that's quite a big mudslide. I can't remember the name, but the young guy at Rainers actually saying, I'm on that line that I want to go onto. Schwarzslam, I think it's called. Probably got the pronunciation wrong. He's got one of the iron bridges that Kibri actually has. Is a Kibri or Fowler has actually made a kit of. And that's one of the bridges I did want to get a photo of, but I can't get to it. No trains run. And this is basically looking down on the mountains that were at the airport, and just look at it, just goes to wherever. The crevices is that's the side of the hills look like they're actually it's covered in snow, but it's not snow. The stones color changes color after it's got wet. When it starts drying up, it goes a little bit darker grey. But the whiteness that he's seen is from the rain that we had last night and in the morning before my flight. We had good heavy rain, and it turns the rock to make it look like it's that snow on there. And it's just amazing. We're just about to start making the turn, I think. Yeah. We're getting close to the turn, and you'll have the cable cars that are actually going up on the side of the cliff. There's the part that you see up the eastern end of the hotel. There is a couple of cable cars down there and the cable train. But I mean, it looks like snow, but it's a water stream, but it's not. It's actually a rock. Oh, okay. Well, you can still get up there by road, but you can't get there. You can't get to Seafield by rail at the moment because that's the one that's closed. Because it's just on the other side of those ranges. And this is getting now closer to one of the other cliff faces. You can get to it, but it's a hiking trail. To get to it, there's actually no such cable cars that take you up there. Oh, wow, there was a spot on the screen. Is this? Oh, that's my mouse. I was wondering, there's a spot on the screen. Sorry about the cloud, guys. I didn't see that coming. But yeah, even get to Yangba. That's where pretty much it starts finishing off at. We do have a bit of scattered cloud, but look at it. It looks like snow, but it's not snow. I know, I'll keep saying that. And that's all rocky tops. Now, down the Swiss side, of course, the mountains are a little bit higher by about 1,000 feet, I believe, in some spots, some 1,200 feet higher. Yeah, you will get some. There were a bit of snow up on those. These will be the second highest peaks in Austria. Now we're getting closer, and it's amazing how fast you can go by plane. Yangba will be pretty much below us, I think. It won't be that far from it. Yeah, I'm looking for the Seafield Lake, which is just on the other side of the gully, and there's Yangba down there. in the distance. That's where the steam train ride that I went to goes to the left of that gully and up it over the mountain range. And the Zillitar line goes to the right of that river. I was too busy videoing down and watching the scenery, but I mean, the scenery and mountains and gullies down there is unbelievable. Yeah, I'm still alive, but I'm about to wrap it up, Steve. I'm just show some shots and whatnot. This is me leaving today from Innsbruck. Yeah, so that will be it for now. Let me put myself back up. So yeah, that was me leaving Innsbruck today. It was a little bit sad to leave, but I mean, I do have to go home eventually. I do have to get back to Sydney. There's a few things I've got to do, and yeah, I've got I've got plenty of ideas how to fine tune my layout. Yes, it's not going to be Innsbruck, but I've got the Innsbruck's idea, and I'm chopping the main station in half. Not literally chopping them, but the operation side of it. Yeah, well, see, that's one part about me. I love flying and I love heights. But the view is spectacular. If I had my current pilot's license, I would have gone up over those gullies and just explored it with the plane from above. So, okay, with that said, this is my last stream in Europe today. Next week is going back to normal time. So I'm sorry to the UK people. I will be, because 5-6 o'clock in the morning Australia time on a Sunday morning, that's a bit much. I will be getting back to the normal 8 o'clock slot for US Eastern Standard Time, which unfortunately makes of you guys roughly about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, it gets to me, for me, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's been a great doing it this time. It's been nice having a lot of the English viewers here. There's been some American viewers as well. Thank you very much for your support, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Back at the normal time, same channel. Back at the normal time. Back at Sydney. Hopefully. What else can go wrong? I've already caught 2 buses and 1 train to the wrong destination. What else can go wrong? But yeah, I'm heading home after this. Tomorrow morning, I am going down the road from here to Munich. My other passion, flying. There's an old Lufthansa museum down the road here, and I'm going to go check that out. And until next weekend, everybody take care and ciao.